We're here at the Farm Progress Show in Boone, Iowa. Christy has already suggested something that it's making my head spin. She said I could trade all of my tractors for this Claas Axion 960.
I did not!
That's what you said?
Well, maybe.
Well, anyway, let's get started. I've got more controls here than I know what to do with.
There's a lot of controls
I've got a display.
here, so.
Should I, do I just kind of play?
Yeah, just let's let it start up
like
here
a
quick.
Computer game here or something.
So with the CVT transmission, it'll idle up the engine RPM to where it needs it.
Okay.
But not too much because we want to keep that efficiency in mind. And then it'll change the CVT ratio to be able to accommodate the speed as in combination with that engine. So
for those watching, there was another guy trying to launch a drone that I almost ran over.
We don't want to do that. We might be in trouble.
Folks, it rides like a dream, as you would expect. But I feel like we haven't even touched the surface of what all we can do here.
There's a lot of things that we can do. So let's just start on the basics of and you mentioned it, is the comfort. So we have a 4-point suspended standard cab option.
Okay.
With our fully suspended Solectrac option that's on this machine.
Okay, so the tracks are suspended.
Yes.
I assume the front axle is suspended.
The front axle is suspended.
And then the cab is suspended.
Yep.
So
and your seat is suspended.
And my seat is.
Yep.
Wow.
Air suspension on the seat.
Wow.
So all those components make for a really nice ride.
A track system, I assume this is for improved traction, or is this more of a compaction issue? What? Maybe both.
You kind of hit on both of them. So yeah, it's both. So guys are wanting more traction to be able to pull bigger implements at higher horsepower while reducing the compaction. And this TT, this Solectrac really gives us that ability.
Okay. Now I want to see what it's like when I try to turn it hard and hit the brake.
So you can do that. And we also have standard, without you hitting the brakes, we have brake assisted steering. So the inside track will automatically brake when you go ahead.
Okay, so show me that.
Corner.
Let's do that.
So that's automatic. We don't have control over that.
If I turn hard right here,
yep,
it's already assisting me by slowing down that one turn.
It is, yep. It's at a percentage.
And then I could potentially add a little more if I really want to pull it.
You can always add more. Yep.
What's the horsepower on the tractor?
This one's 440 horsepower on a 960 model. Okay. We have two different models, the 960 with 440 horsepower, and we have a 930 model with 350 horsepower.
What's it going to cost me to trade my John Deere 1025R 25 horsepower tractor for?
We'll have to refer to the dealer on that one.
It should be about an even trade, don't you think?
Might be close.
Okay, yeah. There you have it. The Claas Axion 960. I need one of these.
Yeah, you do.
We're getting an opportunity here at the show to see a 2023 model 1025R. Now, I've talked to you about the serial numbers before. There's a couple of digits that indicate the calendar year it's built and the model year. And in this case, it's the letter N followed by the letter P, meaning it's built in 2022, but it is a model year 23. So the 23s are already coming out of the factory at this point. Here it is in August of 2022. There are just a couple of changes that I want to point out to you. This is the biggest change right here. You can order the single point connector from the factory. So it's installed at the factory instead of being installed by your dealer. If you get that option, this plate here with the connectors, the regular couplers that the 1025R, 1023E have always had are gone. And they've got hard lines now running, all the way from the SCV up to the single point connector itself. This is a pretty big change. In the long run, I think it'll be great. In the short run, I'm a little concerned about folks that already have blades or brooms or snow blowers, and they expect to be able to connect those to these couplers as well. So yeah, you'll have to buy the top half again of the connector if you want to be able to use a snow blower or a blade. But I do think it will make this all a little bit cleaner in here, one less area to go wrong. So Yep, that's one of the changes here. My understanding is if you order it without the single point connector, you will have the existing plate, existing couplers like we're all used to. The right-hand console has changed just a little bit. We've got 4 bays here for switches, little plugs that can be removed. We're noticing that Deere is providing this on a lot of machines now, and to see it come to the 1 Series is good news for me. There's a lot of things we can use this for as soon as some of the third parties get used to having these here and begin to plan for it. This is going to be a great addition. So 4 switches. I don't know what Deere has in mind for this. It's interesting to know if they already have some accessories that use these switches, but I like seeing it. Now we still have the 12-volt aux plug here. It's interesting. I thought maybe they would introduce a USB port, but they have not. No big deal, really. I thought you'd enjoy seeing these 4 new switches. The front lights are LEDs this year. I don't know for sure if it's standard or if it's an option. I've got mixed information from some of the support staff here. I believe they are standard this year. It looks like they're going to be standard. You can check that on the Build Your Own site at Deere.com. The accessory lights have been LED for a couple of years, but it's always looked kind of odd to have the yellow lights in the front and the white lights back there. I think the LEDs are standard this year. This is a little bit interesting. It's not useful for us in the USA, but it looks like a license plate holder. It's even got a light on it. My understanding is this particular tractor came out of Canada. So it's possible that Canada requires a license plate. If you're from Canada, let us know in the comments. Is this something that's required to be able to get your tractor on the road at all? The good news for me being in the USA, if it did come on my tractor, I could take it off easily. And I probably could even use this light switch. There's a plug here. I could probably even use it to power a rear light. Yeah, I thought you might find it interesting. I looked under the hood, didn't see any changes under the hood. Maybe I missed some things, it's hard to know. Maybe there's a couple other holes on the loader. Anyway, no other big changes that I can tell. It's still the 1025R that we all know and love. I almost missed the all-new parking brake here. A real parking brake. The prior one, of course, was kind of all contained within the cruise control lever over here. This should be a nice improvement. It heads downward. I don't think it's going to interfere with my foot here, but it does stick out a couple of inches, a little bit further than the 4-wheel drive engagement lever. This frees up some space over here on the other side for one more notch or punch out for a rocker switch. So there's 5 of those total, the 4 back here and that one. The only other compact tractor they have here is a 3046R. We can't see any changes on it this year, so it appears to be identical as the prior one. So new 5 Series, separate episode, slight changes to 1025R. That pretty much covers compact tractors. There is a little bit of change in the Gator. They've added different tire option, and they've added an option to be able to put full GPS auto steer on the Gator as a fully supported option. The Solectrac here is generating a lot of buzz at this show. Ha 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 ha. You like that? It really is. There's a lot of people here at the booth. This is an electric tractor. Been seeing a little bit more about it. Some of the other channels you might have seen have shown a little bit of it. It's a 25 horsepower equivalent tractor, but when I talk to the folks, it doesn't sound like it really is a 25 horsepower equivalent. There's a lot of differences. They say it has more pulling power, and so it's hard for me to get a handle on it. One thing I'm noticing is I've got more questions than I know what to deal with at this point. I really would like to give this thing a test on our own property and see if we could answer some of the questions that we have and you might have as well. I can give you the high level one. This tractor retails for about $34,000 with the loader and the industrial tires, the R4 tires. It's offered with turf tires. It's offered with ag tires as well. The ag tires are really narrow. It comes with a rear remote, hydraulic remote standard, and it's supposed to have 6 hours of runtime. I'm sure that's somewhat variable in depending on how you're loading it, how you're operating it. It takes 8 hours to charge it. It can be charged via 110 or 220, or you might say 120 or 240, whatever. The transmission feels like a hydrostatic, they claim, but it's operated slightly differently, and it truly is an electric transmission, so I believe you are going to get more power to the ground. I would like to try that for myself before I make too many promises on that. Other than that, it looks like a mid to large frame 25 horsepower tractor. We've talked about the different frame sizes and how many 25 horsepower tractors there are in general. This one, of course, won't have the emissions issues that a diesel would have, but it's still in that 25 range. The loader lift capacity, 500 millimeters ahead of the pin, is listed at about 900 pounds. So that means 900 pounds of actual payload at full height is what they claim. So yeah, I think this thing's interesting. Do you have any more questions? Let us know your questions in the comments below, and yeah, we'll see if this is something that we can give a more detailed test in the future. The backside looks fairly standard, well, with the exception of this drawbar. It looks like it's for about a 150 horsepower tractor. I think it'll handle anything this can pull, but who knows? They say it has a lot of torque. I believe this is the most exciting thing that I've seen at the show today. It's not a tractor, Mick.
No.
In fact, what is it? It looks like a drone.
Well, it's not a drone because you can actually get in it. And a drone, you can't get in.
You can actually fly this thing.
You can fly this.
Tell me more.
Just like hopping on your tractor, you can hop into this guy and you can go. It is an aerial ATV. It's an ultralight.
Okay.
So it weighs less than 255 pounds, but we have floats on, so it weighs 285 pounds. It can go up to 63 miles an hour and get you from point A to point B in a very fun way.
Okay, so it's an ultralight. It goes under that ultralight part of the FAA rules, right?
That's right.
So, license?
No license required.
As long as you're flying by yourself.
Yep, I can train you in 15 minutes and you can get going. So if you know how to use joysticks for a drone, you probably will be able to fly this pretty quickly.
So those video game skills that you guys have picked up will probably be very helpful.
yeah, in the market, probably the skills will be great.
How long can I fly? Can I go across country on this?
No, you're going 25 minutes or 25 miles is really the limit, but it comes with removable, rechargeable battery packs. So you can put packs out in your field if you want to, or you can just keep them in your barn and bring it out and fly it around and then bring it back.
Okay, so the packs it looks like there's a pack under each engine or each motor on the side, right? So 6 battery packs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's self-redundant, so the idea is each pack is controlling the pod. It's a propulsion module with each independent controller, each independent management system, and each independent motor. So the idea is 6 layers of redundancy, so you're not going to fall out of the sky with this vehicle.
Well, that was my next question. So I'm flying along and I'm really enjoying it at 63 miles an hour.
You lose a motor?
I lose all 6.
Well, that's probably not going to happen because there's really no way for all 6 to go out at exactly the same time.
Okay. So what's it going to do when the batteries get weak and I ignore it?
Well, it's going to land you. So just like a drone, it's going to actually start landing on its own. It's going to tell you in your headset, you'll have Bluetooth telling you, land now, land now. And prior to that, it'll give you plenty of warnings and flash red on your screen. It'll actually start reducing your flight. So you can't be going 63. It's going to start slowing you down. You're going to be like, why am I slowing down? It's going to slow you down, and it's going to start taking you down.
So the likelihood of me falling out of the sky is probably...
We haven't been able to calculate a scenario where all 6 propulsion modules could go out at the same time.
Okay. And does it have the Bugs Bunny air brake like back in the day?
Well, if you let go of the sticks, it backs you off and tries to stop you where you're at.
Okay, and just hover at that point.
And it'll just hover. So if you ever get frantic or become, unhinged while you're flying it, just let go of the sticks and it'll get you there. And if you still are frantic and don't know what to do, there's a big red button that says auto land. Hit it and it'll land you.
Okay, it sounds pretty simple. Now, this is a farm show.
Yes.
Why are you here?
Well, because for us, we believe that farmers are some of the most sophisticated people in the world. They're the first to use satellite imagery, first to use GPS, first to use drones, first to really do high science in herbicides and those sort of things. So who else but people who know how to maintain equipment? It doesn't matter whether you're a small or a large farmer. You probably had to put together a hydraulic line. You probably had to fix your radiator at some point in time. I've had to do it. I've had one of my kids break my mid-PTO on me, so you know how to deal with equipment.
Okay. Specifically, how are you expecting the farmer to use this?
On the large farms, I think the reality is a lot of scouting, a lot of fence repair, a lot of irrigation repair systems, implementing some of the drone technology onto it. It has the capability for an open API architecture to allow you to integrate in your own imagery systems, your own spot irrigation systems. So, you know, if you're spraying your fence line, you could take it and spray your fence line on a smaller farm pretty quickly and pretty easily with it.
What's the max payload?
The max payload is for an individual is 250 pounds, and it's really not max. That's just what it's spec'd at a 25-mile range. You can weigh more and just take down your range a little bit.
Okay, so in addition to my extra cheeseburger ballast, is there any, I mean, do I have extra payload capability to be able to put a little bit of a spray tank on it or something?
You do. You can carry it on their side saddlebags. You can carry on, and you can put a couple gallons in there and spray with it.
And do you have any attachments already designed for specifically?
We don't. We're looking for this market to help us determine. That's part of why we're here, is to try and talk to people and try and understand the market a little bit better and build relationships. Really, we're not here to sell. We're here to learn.
Okay. So it's not available yet.
It's not available. It's going to be available in second quarter 2023.
Well, that's not far off. How much do you expect this thing to cost? More than $15, I bet.
Yeah, the retail price is, we can put a couple zeros behind that, $150,000.
Okay, $150,000. Yeah, that's going to be hard for my finance committee.
Yeah, it is. It's a little pricey, you know, so the target is a larger farm right now, but if you have the spare change and you want to get one, maybe a local distributor will let you lease it, and maybe you'll be able to grab one at a cheaper price.
So it's not a drone.
It's not a drone.
Technically, it's an ultralight, but you had another name for it.
It's an aerial ATV.
An aerial ATV. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
We stopped by the Kubota booth, and nothing really new yet. They do have the L3902 here. We did a complete episode on that in February or March after the National Farm Machinery Show. It's not unusual not to have new announcements here at the Farm Progress from Kubota. They usually make their new announcements in October at a dealer's meeting. We do have a few rumors about what might be coming then, but nothing that they'll talk very much about. AGCO, or Massey Ferguson, has their standard line of compact tractors here. This entry-level 2606. This probably compares to the 5E Deere, maybe the MX in Kubota's line. Really no changes this year in the compact tractors. The big AGCO changes are in a new Fendt tractor, huge tractors, and some new Massey big tractors as well. But nothing really changed in the compact tractor world. I think it may be a year or so, and we'll see some big changes, they say. New item here at the show, this is they call it the Tractor Jobsite Box. It's meant to be a tool storage box. Mounts on the 3-point hitch. It's also got locations there that you can carry it with forks, but it's meant to be a 3-point hitch mounted tool storage box. When I first saw it, I thought, hey, maybe this is a combination ballast box and tool storage. So I got pretty excited about that. But they dampened my opinion on it pretty quickly because they said its max storage capacity is 330 pounds. I was looking for a larger ballast box that I could maybe fill half full with ballast and then store tools on it and on the sides. Now, on the ends, you can actually see some tool holders that are all modular. They can even be used to fasten those same tools to the wall, say in your shop. They can work on the newer ballast boxes for John Deere tractors as well. So that's something they've had now for 6 or 8 months. This job site toolbox is brand new, apparently this week. It looks like it's maybe 30 inches tall and maybe 18 inches deep. There's no other shelving down inside it except for this removable top tool shelf right here. It's got an interesting rough textured finish. I like the looks of it. I'd say it's a little bit too wide for a subcompact tractor, but would be a good fit for 3R and on up tractors, 3R to 5E series tractors. This would make a good match for those machines. little tight fit here with the fancy John Deere handle. Wonder how much that handle attachment, how much extra that adds to my John Deere shovel. This doesn't work very well because it doesn't have a seat. I guess tractors are like anything else. You always see one bigger and better, right? You never can get the biggest or the best one that you want. This is the new 5M series. Fitting place for us to close today. We got nice wide ag tires. I'd love to have the wider ag tires on some of the smaller tractors. I think that'd be a nice fit. I hope you've enjoyed some of the stuff we've shown you here at the show. We try to just pick certain things that we think will be interesting to you, well, probably because they're what's interesting to us. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. I said, "Oh, that I had the wings of a dove, I would fly away and be at rest."